Black Americans think that they are better than African people, and this is essentially my understanding from the thousands of comments that they have sent because they didn't like the fact that I, an African, call them colonizers.
When does crack, now, so the cocaine's happening, when does that crack come into play for you?
You know, it's very interesting. Again, like I said before, the disrespect that Black Americans just so happens again. This is clearly an African woman. I'm not sure where she is at this moment in time, but I can tell you that this woman, after making this video, she decided to make her page private because I'm pretty sure that she was getting a hailstorm of comments in her comment section when she wanted to open her African mouth and try to tell Black Americans that they are colonizers. How is it possible? See, this is how I have a problem with the history that people want to give out, right? On one end, people want to say that Black Americans are not like Africans, but on the other end, when it is that people see something that may be a little bit positive, they then want to deem Black Americans as being a part of them only when it deals with that certain type of thing, right? Because of the slave ship, slavery, and all this other type of stuff, right? And I'm a little bit confused on how it is, if you know the history, how could you open your mouth on the internet with your face and everything up there and state that Black Americans are colonizers? What do we colonize? What did we take from another group of people? What did we steal from another group of people? What did we decide that we were just going to be like, oh, this is our first stop, we're just going to occupy here? We're going to take the names and the brandings of the other people here, and that's just going to automatically be us, and that's the end of the story. And we're going to state that we're the ones that, you know, solely just founded and built this. Where? Just where did that take place in history? Because that's not what Black Americans did. If we're going by history, if we're going by the books, you guys sold us. You sold off the good stock, and you gave it over to the European, the white man. And then he took us over to the United States. So where in that, in between the beginning, middle, and the end, where in that does it state that Black Americans are colonizers? Because again, as I'm clearly seeing directly in front of me, I'm looking at colonization take place, meaning that your culture is being colonized either if you wanted to or if not, because anytime that these people happen to do your dances, they dress like you, they emulate and do all of these things, they're the ones that make the lion's share of the money. Again, you got some African kids in the village sitting up there dancing. You got other African peoples in the background sitting up there dancing. How much money do you think that they're getting paid to do that? In some instances, I can promise you those people will be like, oh, I'll just sit up there and do it for free, just because of who it is that you are, just because of your color, just because of your complexion. I'll just do it just because of that. And they're fine with that. They are completely happy with that. They're not looking for no type of money, no type of nothing. And I'm like, wow, y'all just allow this to happen. You allow other people who look nothing like you to come directly into your nation, into your country, into your culture, and they can just start doing any and everything. And y'all wonder why it is that Black Americans gatekeep? Y'all wonder why it is that Black Americans have a problem with a variety of people trying to masquerade and cosplay? This is exactly why, because we're looking at y'all clearly in 2025. Allowing these things to take place by the exact same people who enslaved you, right? These are the exact same people who have taken over your lands, correct? These are the exact same people who have caused all types of, things to go wrong within your government. These are the exact same people who are European, who have control over you, right? Crazy work. Diabolical. We're watching this at this moment in time, and you as an African woman, you have the gall, you have the audacity, you have the nerve to try to pull up to the scene online and tell everybody that Black Americans are colonizers. Wow. And again, y'all wonder why it is that Black Americans say the things that they happen to say online. It's because you guys did it to yourselves. You get online every single day and you opt to say the wrong things. And then once Black Americans start checking you on what it is, and rightfully so, on what it is that you are stating, now you want to go directly into hiding. You want to make your social media pages private. For what? But you said this because you wanted attention, right? You said this because you felt that you were right, or that you are right, right? And nobody should be afraid of the truth, correct? So if you're stating the truth and somebody else has another truth, let's compare truths and see whose truth is actually greater. Obviously, the truth of Black Americans must be the greatest one out there because, again, the content creator who initially started off calling Black Americans colonizers opted to make her page private. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. And historically speaking, I wonder if she decided to actually do a full-length video detailing black and white proof, all types of books and studies that show that Black Americans are colonizers. I wonder if she went that far to do that. I promise you she didn't. And I bet you she wouldn't. And also, I promise you that somebody like her more than likely would not ever have the voice to call out Europeans for being the true in the original colonizers. I bet she won't do that. She would never go that far. Because I'm pretty sure she more than likely has a preference as well, too. And it's not the men of her country. But hey, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. You know, it be like that. But like I said, to the Africans directly out there, to the ones that pull up to the scene and want to leave comments, again, here's another video, and I promise that you won't have anything to say about this. You would rather move the goalpost and segue on to something else that has nothing to do with the topic or the conversation. But you know, it'd be like that when people can't say anything when dealing with the truth. And the truth of the matter is that fields of Africans are coming to the scene being blatantly disrespectful to Black Americans. I even have the sole few directly out here who are African, Caribbean, or Jamaican, or whatnot, or whatever, who will come out and speak against their own people and state that, yeah, my people are saying this, that, and the third, while the rest of y'all are just stuck in denial. You guys are Sandra Bullock and you just can't see anything. Boy, girl, girl, boy, you know, all that type of thing. Like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy how people try to make it seem as though that Black Americans are the most problematic peoples on this planet, but yet there's so few of us. We're about like 40 million or something like that, and for whatever reason we're the focal point at this point in time, at this juncture, and it doesn't make any type of sense. Because again, why would the focus be on us when everybody has said that Black Americans are lazy, we don't have nothing, we don't have an education, we don't work, we don't have homes, we're all on government assistance, we don't got no college education, we don't got no money. Like I said, all of this is just so tiring. It is so tiring. It is so tiring. But as noted, it's easy. There's a few reasons why they choose to do things like this, and that's number one, because they're not going to go after the people that put their countries or their nations in the circumstances that they're currently in, right? Number two, they're not going to do anything that will put their own people in a bad light, which is trying to perform corrective measures and critiquing their own people. Number three, they're not going to, again, talk about their own people because nobody cares. It's not going to bring any type of eyes, any type of attention to whatever words that they have to speak on. And in order for them to make money directly off of these topics, you got to talk about somebody who is, in a sense, interesting, somebody who is going to draw the eyes and the ears of everybody else to the topic. And here comes Black Americans. Because like I said, you got a multitude of other groups and peoples and religions, you know, on this planet that you can talk about. But for whatever reason, the main focal point, the main topic from a lot of their mouths is Black Americans. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Now, I've watched some African podcasts. It could be about music. It could be about politics and all of those other types of things. Fairly interesting stuff, right? The problem is that even Africans don't want to support that. They're not trying to hear nothing about themselves. They're not really trying to hear about the political, geopolitical, social, or any of those things. It'll probably get a few views, but it's not going to garner the type of attention that it would normally get if the topic has to do or it revolves around Black Americans in a negative type of way and or light. Those are just the facts. I don't care what it is that people have to say, because I've done a compare and contrast on content from TikTok to IG to YouTube to even X. I've seen and watched a lot of these things and seen how some people put out, content dealing with, Kenya, dealing with Zimbabwe, and it's just the stuff going on there. Barely any eyes, barely any talks, barely any conversations. The analytics are showing that it's not even having a spike or an uptick. And if it does, it might be 5 or 10, right? But then if they make a topic revolving around Black Americans, you got 140K analytically. You got a few hundred, if not thousands of comments directly under there. You got a whole bunch of reposts. You got a whole bunch of bookmarks and different things of that nature, a whole bunch of shares. So, like I said, I already know exactly what it is. You got a lot of these people that state that they're wherever it is that they come from is so great, and that they're not going to leave. So they're going to try to figure out a way to make the best out of the situation, even if it comes at the detriment of a whole nother group of people, of which they don't even know or even care about. That's exactly what they're going to do. And that's currently what they're doing right now online. You got the Africans that are even here in the United States talking real slick. And then you got the Africans that are elsewhere around the world still talking slick. Crazy work. Again, the disrespect is real. And as a Black American, I'm going to continue to highlight and show that off up until further notice. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's in the comment section below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.